Oh my god, you're still playing the fucking video game. Can you please move your ass and go outside? Go and, breathe. Go and kiss the sun. Go and play with your mates. Go and do something useful with your life instead of just staring at a monitor and playing a fucking video game. I don't know about you guys, but that kind of happened to me kind of a lot. I mean, that was the main phrase that my parents kind of told me while I was growing up. Simply because I'm kind of a gamer, let's put it this way. I enjoy playing video games. Playing video games has always been a big part of my life. I've always enjoyed it since I actually received my first ever quote-unquote console, which was actually a Game Boy Advance with Pokemon Gold when I was like 8 or 9. And since I was 8 or 9, since I was a kid basically, I've always played video games. And while I was growing up and becoming more and more a man, my passion for gaming was actually growing with me. Nowadays, if there is something that I absolutely love and do, and that I would actually do for literally more than 20 hours a day, that would actually be to play video games. Just because I enjoy it that much. Do I actually do it? No. I actually have some other stuff to do, but that's besides the point. Gaming has been my main focus for literally like the past 12 years, more or less, since I actually got the weird old Game Boy Advance. And also, if out of the last 12 years I've lived at home for literally like 10 of those, my parents really never actually understood what I meant by saying that I love video games. I love playing video games. They never really grasped the concept behind gaming and being a gamer and playing video games because you enjoy playing video games as an activity. They always thought it was just like a loss of time. And I never really understood why they were not able to get it. Why they were not able to appreciate the fact that I actually had a passion, a hobby, of which I was really passionate about. And I mean, it's not like I only tried to tell them, hey, I like video games, why can't you understand it? No. I actually made them sit down more than a couple of times. I brought them proof, scientific, factual proof that says that playing video games is not bad, that it can provide some kind of like advantages, and it can improve some kind of skills and all that kind of good jazz. But for some weird reason, also in front of like actual proof, they were never actually able to understand what I was talking about. They were never actually able to understand why to me video games were that important, why I would actually spend hours among hours playing video games. And today I'm actually here to tell you guys that it's not their fault. It's not their fault that they're not able to understand why video games are so important. And this can actually relate to what Jimmy Kimmel said about, YouTube gaming and yada yada yada, I believe like a week ago, saying that according to his point of view, it's kind of useless to go and watch someone else play video games. And that's why I was not mad about it, because it's not their fault. It's not Jimmy Kimmel's fault if he thinks that playing video games is useless. And that is because there is a big cultural barrier. In case you guys actually didn't know, in the last century more or less, there have been a total of 6 different generations that were recognized. The first generation was actually the builders, the 1925 till 1945. These pals of ours actually were brought up with Truman and Eisenhower as the US president. There was the radio as the iconic technology. The jazz and the swing were actually the two musical influences at that time, and the main singer was actually Frank Sinatra. That actually makes you understand how far back in time these guys were actually born. In fact, nowadays they should be between the 70s and the 80s. Then there were the baby boomers, the guys that basically repopulated each and every single country after World War II. In fact, they were actually considered baby boomers the one that were born after 1946 till 1964. They had Nixon as a president, there was a TV as an actual thing at home, as a family home, audio cassette, the transistor radio. In terms of the artists, they had Elvis, the Beatles, the Rolling Stone. Going on the world, there was the Generation X, 1965 till 1979. And here we're actually getting closer to our generation. And in terms of the iconic technology, they had the VCR and the Walkman and the IBM PC. 3 things that we don't hear anymore nowadays. No one actually used a VCR, I don't even think that the latest generation knows what a Walkman is. And IBM PC, only if you're actually into PC stuff, you know what that IBM used to produce PC. Going on, there was the Generation Y, which is the generation that kind of affects me a lot, because I believe to be part of this generation. This actually goes from 1980 till 1994. We had, of course, Clinton and George W. Bush as the president of the United States. We had the internet, the email, SMS, DVDs, PlayStation, Xbox, and iPod. You see, this is the generation in which we should be interested in, because this was the advent of video games as we all know it right now, aka through consoles such as the PlayStation and the Xbox. Going on, of course, there was the Generation Z, 1995 and till 2010, and then going on again from 2010 up until now, there is the Generation Alpha, those kids that basically were brought up with an iPad in their hands and know everything about Apple devices and all that kind of good jazz. But this is the thing, okay? The main reason why our parents are not actually able to understand why we enjoy so much video games is simply because there is a cultural barrier, which, as I explained just a couple of seconds ago, is known as different generations. In fact, let's say, we both know that Frank Sinatra and Eminem both do music, like what they do is considered as music. Yet if you actually go to, let's say, your grandfather or grandmother, which approximately should be of 70-80 years old, aka they're actually part of the builders generation, chances are when you actually tell them to listen to Eminem, they will say, what the hell is this garbage? Why is this guy speaking so fast? What is the point of it? Why is he not singing? He's just talking. And in the same way, if you were actually to go and tell to a Generation Alpha kid, aka one of those kids that are coming up nowadays, and be like, hey, you know, look at this thing, it's a VCR, it was the coolest shit when I was back in my days, chances are they will actually tell you, what the hell is this? This is so obsolete. They will not understand how relevant the VCR was back in the day simply because they didn't live that experience. And here I am to you guys, bringing you the quote-unquote solution to the problem of our parents not understanding the relevance of video games. And that is that video games are the biggest phenomena of literally the last century. There has yet to be a bigger phenomena than actually being able to live a different life, a second life, or multiple lives in a virtual form. This has never ever happened before. Our fathers cannot go back in history and be like, oh my god, yeah, that's kind of similar to what they did right there. No, it's not possible. Whether, let's say, with smart TVs, you could actually just explain it as a VCR that lets you actually skip advertisements and maybe, you know, record a couple of your favorite shows, that would actually be a lot easier to explain, but there is no other way to explain video games. There is no actual way to make them understand that something of their generation can relate with something of our generation. And that is the biggest reason to why parents are not able to understand why we enjoy playing video games that much. Simply because they never actually had anything similar in their generation. They didn't experience what we experience with video games. We are two completely different worlds. And while, let's say, a baby boomer or a Generation X would have actually understood what, let's say, the importance of the radio is, or the importance of the TV is, nowadays generation are brought up with just the internet. I don't know about you guys, but I don't have a TV at home, or at least in my apartment in London, because I never actually use the TV. I just have a laptop and that works for everything. I don't know what a TV is, or at least I knew that I used to watch TV, but nowadays I just don't. It's obsolete and it takes away time, precious time. So it's really no surprise for our parents to not being able to understand what playing video games is all about. It's just natural. As I said before, it's a cultural barrier that there is really no way to break. We're kind of doomed to just, you know, fight with our parents up until we're gonna move out, and then it's gonna be LAN parties 24 hours, yeah, motherfucker. But no, seriously, it's not our parents' fault, and I actually understood that on my own skin. Hope you all understood. Hope you all had a beautiful, beautiful day. Thank you all for watching. Bye bye.